Good morning, Devo. How are you?
I'm trying to be all right, man. But I'm watching a guy. I don't think he can get up. I think he down. He can't get up because he went over on the other knee and tried, and then now he's sitting on his rear end.
How difficult it is to get up once you get down.
Oh boy, oh boy. Way to start the show there, Reverend Keith.
And good
Look,
morning,
look,
Jermaine No Soul.
man.
Right out. I was listening, man. You hear beats I didn't hear. So, but you're a musician, so you got that fifth ear because you was over there. And I'm going, is that what?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
a 3-4 time.
What's happening? What's happening, y'all?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. It's Thursday, one more day of the week.
Thursday.
And
Well, it's good I didn't have to swim in this bad boy
Hey,
this
man.
morning to get in.
get your
I did.
back
Let me
strong.
shout out to those brothers because I know a lot of them listen to us and when they're in the truck. The brothers there for the Department of Public Works, the work that you do, and it's thankless a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But they were out here, man, and they got the work in. The lake is gone.
Yeah, but the problem I got, bro, Keith, since they listening, they put the trash right back in the street. They didn't pick up nothing, man. That's what caused it.
Yeah, but that ain't their job. That's somebody else's job.
Man, they got that big truck come out here with that suction thing on it. They supposed to suck that right up.
Dirty leaves, all type of stuff.
Yeah, I was hearing that on the, that another station was really, they've been dealing with this litter issue now since last week. I got a chance to kind of revisit one of the posts that was put out there by someone who went went after Alderman Westmoreland, and I brought it in for you, Meech. So yesterday I told Meech I was looking. I have this book, is How to Win an Argument by Marcus Tullius Cicero. This is a book from antiquity when it comes to philosophy on how to win an argument. And one of the things that people do is that once they start losing on facts, then it becomes personal. You start attacking the person who's making the argument. And so, and I wish, and maybe we had it. I'd have to go back and look at our yearbooks to see if we had forensics in high school. I know we didn't have a debate team, whether or not we had forensics, because it teaches you how to prepare your argument, right? And part of you preparing your argument is having, that people are going to challenge it. And so be prepared to refute the challenges to your argument. But it becomes very, very emotional, and so you do it. You can tell it happens. Because I'm always making sense. Tell me one time I didn't make sense. But people, they go. I had a girlfriend, man, and I'd be winning the argument. The few times I win the argument, and then she go, "Your mama." So now we done turned it into what you said about my mama.
Well, then you were never really winning.
No. He was winning to the point that she used the break the glass moment. When you wanted to, destroy a person, you go to the your mama thing, and you're gonna respond. What you say about my mama?
Right. You get distracted, so stay on your point when you're making your argument. And someone emailed me, and they said it was a couple of things. They talked about the Islamic, why there's not a prohibition on gambling and the use of intoxicants. They said that regarding the early incorrect statement by a caller, the Quran addresses gambling and intoxicants, and this is in the Quran 2:219, also 4:43 and 5:90. The potential damage is greater than the benefit, so avoid them. No moderation. But then it gets down to this, the thing that I seem, and it almost seems like a contradiction when I will tell people that I try to be more fact-based than belief-based. That a lot of times that we have belief in the absence of facts. And what I said was I'd heard I was having a conversation with someone, and we were having a conversation about the German philosopher Reinhold Niebuhr, and she was, and part of that conversation, then she said to me that math is truth. And what she was saying was, and when she said it, it sent off one of these light bulbs in my head, like, yeah, that's right. That when it comes down to math, like formulas, and let's say proven formulas, that is truth. Now we get into these other things. I think it was Craig when I first started here. He and I would go back with, are there any absolute truths? Are there any absolute truths? And and to me, it truth in and of itself, the that very word, here I use a big word to kind of define the word. It can be rather nebulous in terms of what truth is. Truth for Jermaine could be a very different thing in terms of truth for Keith. But I think that what happens is, especially when we're having discourse, is that we have opinion, and we have fact, and then we have truth, and we commingle it, and it gets all just garbled, in terms of having a discussion. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't. Is it, and the contradiction being obviously being an ordained minister, where a lot of what we proffer is belief, right? And so, how do you reconcile that, where you're in the belief business, and then at the same time, you live in a world that is, I won't say fact based, but yeah, maybe it is. I mean, it is, a fact is a fact. Data is data. Now you can go in and interpret. People do it all the time, where you can go in and but what it is what it is. And I think sometimes that's hard. Human beings will always go in, and based on our bias, based on, our environment, how we were raised, what we believe, all those things go into it, especially when you begin to go in and talk. That's why it's difficult a lot of times for people to go back to school when they're older, because part of what they take back to that classroom or those classrooms is a lifetime lived experience, right? And I was thinking the other day, Jermaine, that I made the comment, someone was saying, how when people get up and they throwing out truth,
yeah,
you get those amens.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, you know what, I'm going to introduce something, because amen is when that truth is about Jermaine.
Yeah, but when it's about you,
me.
Yeah, when you hit home,
yeah, it's AB.
Yeah,
I want to hear some ABs out there, not amen.
Yeah,
like that them other ones over there, but
it ain't me, Doc. It's
it
them.
ain't me, right? No.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's me. I found out that in relationships, as much as you want to blame the other partner, sometimes it was me.
Doc,
it was me. So so anyway, phone lines open. And maybe I'll do it this way, and then I'm gonna fall back. What is more important? Facts or belief? 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250.
That's a good question. Ooh, Jack, listen. That's a good question.
Mr. Carter.
That's a good question, man, because a lot of people stand on their beliefs. Like, they stand 10 toes down, like you can't move them. Which, if you believe something, it becomes your truth. But when you're dealing with facts versus beliefs, ooh-wee, like, because those people that believe something, but then when you find out, man, that what you believe is not factual,
now we got a problem.
now you got an issue.
Caller, welcome to the program.
I like that question, man.
I don't know, it just came to me.
I like that, Doc.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Parris. And
Good
assalamu
morning.
alaikum to you, brothers.
Good
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call. I just listening to you speaking about truth with fact as opposed to belief. And Brother Rideout was speaking, and in that vein, I would add that for most people, it is their beliefs that undergirds their thinking,
Yeah.
or that it's the prism through which they view life. So a lot of people, because they have traditions and their beliefs, which the root word of belief is be lie. So your beliefs could be based in lies, and you could be adding more lies to your beliefs just because you believe that.
Yeah.
Now, and that's where when people like believe that, you know, you can do the most evil to everybody on earth, and you believe that you should be forgiven and you should be re-embraced again, and all things should be forgiven. The Holy Quran says Allah is his greatest attribute is mercy, and he's oft returning to mercy. But there's a path by which the mercy is gained or earned.
Okay.
So ultimately,
Bro.
Yes, sir.
I want you to focus in on this.
Belief.
So
I was going right back to it.
So what's more important?
Well,
fact
in my life,
or belief?
Fact. Because we are taught in the Nation of Islam with actual facts and to be right and exact. That doesn't mean that we are totally right all the time, but if we make a mistake, we're taught to find a way to correct it and address it or redress it. So we move from the basis of fact. And it's hard when you come up in a society that has been shaped by people's beliefs. White people believe that they are superior. But if you were to do anatomy and physiology on them, you would find out that genetically they are not, and that they are more Neanderthal-like than anybody on the planet. Black people are not Neanderthals. We did not come from that.
Is that supported by data and
Facts.
facts, or is
Yes,
that a
sir.
belief?
And you can look that up. It's an actual fact. It's not no belief.
So what about the people back where we came up with this whole idea? I think this would have been back in the late 1800s, where there was science. But there was science out there talking about the size of, and I'm gonna use the terms that they used then, a Negro's brain, and it was smaller. Right. Was that based on
that was based on belief? No, that was based on perverted beliefs and perverted science, if they actually even utilize science. And the actual fact is that the original people of planet Earth, our brains are bigger than the non-original people, meaning primarily Caucasoid.
But brain size, what we found out in terms of fact, it is not the size of your brain, it's the amount of the brain that you use.
Absolutely, sir. And it's not, and most people, that's why people are moved by their emotions, or and animals are moved by their appetite. And a lot of our emotions are tied into what we believe to be, you know, like a person who is incorrigible. You can't do anything with them, like some people say, people get to a point in their life and they're set in their ways. That's not based on any facts. It's mostly based upon belief. I had grandparents who ate pork from the rooter to the tutor, and they got sickly when they got up in age, and they had grocery bags full of pills. And every time I would say to them that, you know, that it is a fact that if you, by your consumption or overconsumption or overindulgence in swine, it is contributing to your maladies or your misfortunate state of health. And you know, they would get peed off about that. So I was just looking at them like, well, and I'll go with this. Just remember, you are what you eat, whether it is psychological or literal. If you're being fed a bunch of bull crap, that's what you're going to be, a bunch of bull crap. Thank you.
Well, you know
In
what?
other words, you're full of it.
Yeah, that should come off the table.
Man, I was sitting here thinking.
It ain't on the menu anymore.
I was sitting here thinking as I was taking notes, man. You should kind of do a series on facts versus beliefs.
No, because I always lose.
No, do it, man.
I always lose.
Because I want to take notes, man. I want to see.
Always lose, man. It didn't just start here. I used to have a group of kids. I just retired, and a guy had hooked me up. He said, come and teach life skill to the kids, right?
Mhm.
They're 12, 13, 14-year-olds. And, you know, the lesson plan gets a little boring. So I figured, well, let me spice it up.
Right.
And so these kids, because they all went to religious schools.
Mhm.
And so they're 12, 13, 14. And so I would always challenge, which is unfair. Why would you challenge a 14-year-old's religious belief? I would challenge their religious beliefs, right?
Yeah.
And I go like, boy, all you Christians. And then they go back, yeah, well, all you science people. But I think, Christopher makes a great point. That as human beings, we are, he said it was interesting, that animals are driven by their appetite. And the appetite is there so they can survive. You need to eat.
Yeah.
You need water in order to survive.
Yeah. And
I think the human beings, when we're driven by our appetite, it's hard to and how do you divorce yourself from emotion? Michelle was yelling at me the other day. Oh, here you come wanting to be Mr. Rational, and you don't know how hard it is trying to be Mr. Rational, because you got all these feelings.
Yeah.
And a lot of what dictates our feelings is our environment and how we sensually react to our environment.
Yeah.
Our taste, our
Yeah.
smell,
Yeah.
our touch,
Yeah.
our sight, our hearing.
Yeah.
Those things go a long way. But in some ways we can be deceived by our senses, right?
Yeah.
What did they used to say in the cars? In your side view mirror, objects may appear to be bigger than they are.
Yeah.
It's almost like an optical illusion.
Yeah. And it's just like what you said, our senses can sometimes throw off, because you can smell something that smell great. Be like, oh, it smells good, but you're thinking it's gonna taste good.
And it don't.
Yeah.
I guess that was the argument people were making in the reverse about chitlins. Oh, they smell bad, but they tasted good.
Please, fool yourself.
But I'm with you, brother Christopher. Get those chitlins off your plate.
Yeah, man.
414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. The phone lines are open. It's on your mind, certainly. And I don't know if anybody has a 401k or you have a retirement, but it just took a hit. The Dow Jones is down by almost 3% based on the tariffs.
Trump waited until after the Dow Jones closed to release the information so it wouldn't look bad. What he was doing, it wouldn't look bad. This dude is incredible, man.
414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. Call, I see you. I'm going to grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
Here's your updated forecast. Partial sunshine develops here for today. We'll see high in the low 50s. Breezy west winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. For tonight, mostly cloudy, a low near 36. By Friday, a chance for some rain showers here late. Partly sunny skies, a high of 46 degrees. Saturday, a slight chance for rain, cloudy, high 51. By Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 46. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on AM 860, The Voice.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony. You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
Welcome back to Community Voice. Let me say something controversial. The only time you should be wearing white shoes if you're a dude, you need to be in a band. All right, call welcome to the program.
Marching band.
Any kind of band.
Wait. What band?
Any band.
Mariachi band?
No, any band. So we, if you're in the group.
If you're in a band, love, peace, and soul, y'all can do white shoes.
Yeah.
So Keith, you guys don't do white at your church?
I don't.
Man, I do white on Easter.
Come on, man. What?
I don't know why. You said what?
Call her up to the program. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I wanted to try to answer your question.
Okay.
But first I wanted to say that there is such a thing as truth, and it is, in my opinion, superior to all knowledge, meaning that something exists and we are trying to determine what is actually truth and what is not. It exists whether we know it or not. So let's say, for example, let's say what the crime statistics are on a particular block, like I've used that example before. So if we report it to the department and then they give statistics, then those are, quote, facts. But if half of the people did not report what happened, then we would have facts, but it wouldn't necessarily be the true picture because all of the data was not included. So even in medical field, they have to rely on people to report back to them, to your physician or whatever, that this worked for me, it did not work for me, and then from the initial studies and data, then they will come up with an adjustment. So maybe the facts or the data would change, but it would only be as a result of however many people that were helped by this particular treatment. That was initial, but then they have to rely on the data that will come in, and then you got a different picture. So then what was, quote, true in the beginning may change later on. So that's what I always focus on, even in science and anywhere. The human being is inferior in that extent, that because we're always seeking for truth, and also people can take facts and come up with a incorrect conclusion, even though the initial facts were correct. So I'm going to slow down a minute in case you had, you wanted to push back on it.
So do you think that? Do you think truth is static? Do you think that what could be a truth or truth today could be different tomorrow?
I think that truth, the term, and I hate that it's been, I call it perverted, because truth, and I said truth with a capital T, that is static in my opinion. It remains. That's superior to all of our knowledge. We're seeking for truth, and all of this, my truth, your truth. I really don't. I don't ever use that term because to me, truth should just be always. And so, but what was your original question?
In fact, I just pulled this up. This is done by Luann Hassett. She says that truth implies a completeness. Knowledge is objective, is scientific, but is inherently incomplete. There's always an infinity of knowledge left to discover. So we look at truth, then truth would be, that's it, right? It doesn't change. It's immutable. Whereas if you look at knowledge, it says that what we know today we can know more tomorrow, because basically knowledge is infinite, which I think is really cool. That there's this world of undiscovered knowledge. So when we put something down as truth, or we mark it as truth, that means that then it's complete.
Well, I don't think that it's what we mark, and I really like that statement you just read. But when we can accept something as truth, we don't absolutely know in most cases if it's true or if it's not true, but that's what we accept as truth. I'm just saying that there does exist a truth that we are constantly seeking.
You said something, though, that was real interesting in your sentence. You say we don't know it to be true, which I think comes down to then that word knowledge, right? And so then knowledge is that we can always learn, like the scientific knowledge of the let's say the 1400s was that the world was flat, right? That was considered science, though no one had ever gone to the end of what we call the earth and fallen off the earth. But based on, and a lot of times science is observational, right? It's what we see, and we go on what we see, and then we then come up with theories. We come up with other things, and hopefully you get to the fact of it. But that's how scientific, it always starts off as a theory, right? It always starts off as a hypothesis.
Hypothesis, yes.
Right. And then you go in and then you try to prove it or disprove it based on then facts, knowledge, data. But no, when they say that we do. So I would there are things that we believe to be true today that tomorrow might not be. Like there's some people who really, they believe that how the world began is found in Genesis 1. And there's people who believe that. Now, scientific data says something else. So then what should have primacy? Should it be this thing where it says that the world was created in 6 days, or that the world or existence is billions of years? How do you reconcile that?
I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer to that. But I guess my overall point, I think we kind of agreeing on, is that there exists truth and there exists this knowledge that we would never know all of it. So we have to rely on something such as observation of the natural world, and then things that can be proven in a scientific laboratory. But again,
it
we
doesn't necessarily be in a laboratory. I mean, I think that it's okay. It's okay to say that today, as of today, here's where we are, because our experiences taught us that either we're going to have more knowledge, more data, more facts to say, okay, it is different tomorrow. I know when during COVID, we were going back and forth because a lot of stuff in terms of how the world was responding to it was done in real time. And so when things are done in real time, let's say you go and you put in all these measures, and then you come to find out, well, half of them we really didn't need. But until we had the knowledge to know exactly how this virus spread, then you put in all of these protections, or to say that
pretty much theories. They're pretty much theories that this will likely work based on somebody's information or somebody's thoughts that these things should work.
Right.
So that's kind of a theory, and then if you are a person who really seeks truth, then you don't come to your final conclusion from information that you don't have. Many things will take time to figure out if they are correct or incorrect, and so you don't jump to the conclusion in the beginning. And that's kind of a theory. I would consider to be a theory because it's based on some information, some science but then you have to wait. Some things will only time will tell as to whether.
Yeah, I think that, try to find that balance. There's sometimes all you have are your beliefs. At that point is just a belief. You don't have any knowledge or any facts other than at that point your belief. I guess I get frustrated when people will dismiss facts, right, as the president is doing right now, where facts are that that when you do tariffs, that there is going to be an adverse effect on the economy. It goes back to Smoot-Hawley, which was done in 1930. And let me do this little thing that,
I'm sorry.
That let me just kind of throw this in just in case. There was like over 180 countries part of this whole tariff net that he put out yesterday. You know what country is not part of the tariffs?
No.
Yeah, Russia.
Oh.
So someone that we have identified as an adversary, someone that we have identified in many ways counterintuitive to what our values are and how we see our place in the world. And the only people, not only, but one of the few countries not on the list is Russia.
Yes. Well, I want to throw one more thing in there before the time runs out. And this in regard to knowing, there's also a way of knowing that does not come from study or scientific experiment or whatever. And that's something that was placed, from my perspective, in the individual, in the human being. And that is a connection to something higher than themselves, and also an intuition, so that a person can be allowed to understand something or to see something that's not necessarily, quote, provable by somebody else. So I think we don't need to downplay that and act as if that's inferior, because you are able to, if you have enough resources, you can pretty much prove whatever you want to prove. And
Can we prove God?
No, God can prove God to the individual, but no, a person can't prove God to somebody else. But yes, God can prove God to the individual if the person seeks and connects with that. So I guess those were my main points.
Well, thank you. Your insight is always refreshing, and I appreciate it, and I thank you, and thank you for calling.
Thank you. And what was your original question?
What should we be? What was, you wrote it down, Jermaine? No, it should be what should be more important, our belief or our facts
Oh, okay. Equally then. Equal.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Now, you can believe that the Bucks are going to win the NBA championship. You can believe that. Facts are.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Why you use them as an example, man?
Facts are. Ooh.
Well, they could still win it.
That's a possibility.
They could still win it.
But we kind of live in a world of probability. But yeah, there's a possibility. There's always possibility. I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday, and he said, tongue in cheek, he said, I know everybody's gonna die. This pregnant pause, like, what you got, bro?
Yeah.
He said, because George Foreman died.
Oh my God.
I didn't know George Foreman was supposed to live forever. But everybody, and speaking of people who passed, Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah.
It was
Top Gun.
See, that's interesting because the role I associate with him is Tombstone.
Really?
Doc Holliday. Yeah. And it was interesting. I was watching this brother on Fox. The first thing now, white dudes and Jermaine, the first thing is Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun.
But I always, I'll be your
Iceman.
Huckleberry.
He's Iceman.
He was
Top Gun.
Iceman, and then they brought him back in the one. But at this time, he was sick. So
But didn't he play Batman too?
yeah, he played Batman, and people said that I don't know if he was the best Batman.
No, I think the other dude was the best Batman.
Which one? George Clooney?
George Clooney, yeah.
I like Michael Keaton. I thought Michael Keaton was.
Yeah, he played it good.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Man,
was
I was listening to this comedian Dion Cole, right? And he said he was sitting around talking to his friends, and one of his friends said, "You know, one of us is not going to be able to go to each one to one of our funerals." He said, "One of us ain't going to be able to go." He said, "Yeah, but I'm going to yours, though." Said, "Wow." Which is true.
Let me.
When you think about it, which is true.
Well, at this point, I am scheduled to be at my funeral.
So you scheduled
to be at my funeral. I don't know what's gonna change, but at this point, I am scheduled.
Well,
to be at my.
My prayer is that the Lord keep me here until He crack the sky. And I'll be raptured on up. So I want.
Is that right?
I mean, that's my prayer. I don't know about
right?
yours. That's my prayer. That's what I want to.
That's your one fervent prayer.
Hey,
you know what?
Good Lord, keep me here.
I want to stay here as long as I know I'm here.
That part.
You know, I mean, I don't know how that would be when you kind of just don't feel like or know that you're here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, and I know. We our hope is that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But I just want to be able to.
Dr. Bob said it best. Bob said, "May I live forever and you never die."
Man, listen, I was at a funeral one time, and I think that this was inappropriate for somebody to get up at a funeral and say, well, after they quote the scripture, being present with the Lord, which is great. But then they turn around and say, "I thank God for being in the land of the living." So why would you say that at a person's funeral?
But it's said all the time.
Because I'm glad to be in the land of the living.
But I'm saying, but you just said
he did.
I ain't did.
I'm a lot of myself.
I'll tell you what. I hear people say this. Boy, if he could trade places,
oh my God,
he would.
But for you to say that
what, Keith?
to be present with the Lord. And
I'm talking about the dead person. If he could trade places,
I
know he would.
But I'm saying, but why would you get up at a funeral? You know this man is dead, or this woman is dead.
Well, you hope.
No,
that's the purpose of you being there.
But I'm saying,
you know he did.
No, you know he did. You just walked around and saw him. He dead as a fool.
He did. At first he died, and then he was dead.
Then he was dead. Yeah. So then you walk around. No, you got me on that one. I agree. First he died, then he was dead. So
there's a procedure that goes with that.
He died first, and then he was dead. This dude here.
And dude, where did they come up with the late? Like if you expected him, don't worry about it. He's gonna be late.
He on time.
The early
where did that come from?
You might be late getting there. He on time. He on time.
I mean, why do they say the late? I've always wondered that. I mean, what you mean he late?
There's a whole lot of questions.
He ain't got no appointments to keep. How is he late?
Yeah, Doc, he on time.
Everybody know Jermaine, he's always late.
Wait, hold on, Doc. Don't put my name in that sentence. Let's use somebody else, man.
I mean, can you look that up on that little gadget you got in your hand? Why does late equate to being dead?
But
why do we refer?
I mean, it's a lot of stuff I got questions about when it comes to antics at funerals.
As late. Okay, here it is. We refer to the deceased as the late as a euphemism stemming from the word late, meaning not long since or recently.
Man, please.
In the past, which evolves into applying to person who is no longer living. I don't even know how you got to that.
Yeah, how do you because they normally put the late on the person like, so what is it, like 2 years after they pass, or 2-3 years after they pass?
I think we use it.
We use it loosely.
But you know,
but it's supposed to be.
If I say,
a
like,
certain
I'm
amount of time.
referring to George Foreman, I'll say the late George Foreman, and we know that
That he
means he's
passed.
dead.
Right.
But I mean, people were saying the late great George Foreman the day after he died. It didn't. There's
That's
no
what
timeline.
Exactly, but I thought it was supposed to be
as
a
to when you
period.
can use it.
They said euphemistically, what it means is using late to describe someone who has died is a way to soften the harshness of the word dead or deceased.
I still.
So in essence,
at all.
If that's your loved one,
Like he's
late,
still dead.
dead, and deceased all mean the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
they do.
Yeah.
No, they're just saying that it's harsh when you hear the word death or dead, that, you know, it I guess it hurts.
Well, the news people need to know that, because they'll be like, George Foreman dead at the age of 59.
Oh,
They just throw that word dead like crazy.
Well, he is dead. It ain't like they misusing the word.
But I'm saying, why don't they say George Foreman late at the age of 59?
Late for what?
Yeah, late for what?
Late as a word that we use to soften
Lord have mercy.
the blow, if you will.
Why did they refer to him as dead? Because he's dead. That is. All right.
Uh-oh, somebody on the line.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning there, my brothers. How y'all feel?
What's happening?
Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, I was just telling the guy that answered, I said it's kind of funny, but then I took it back. It's not really kind of funny because it's ironic. I'm on my way to a funeral now.
Oh, okay.
And it's down at our church, Keith, you know, Reverend Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, Friendship. It's one of our, probably one of our oldest, or maybe the second oldest member.
Okay.
And she's been there for years, man. You know, we down there at the old Metropolitan. You know where we at down there.
Sir.
Ninth and North.
Yeah. You know, I just want to put a little humor and throw a twist on it on this one, man. Check this. Like, what was the Archbishop name? Was it Dolan that was here? And he in New York now?
Yeah.
Hey, I know all the other archbishops got to be mad at him. He counted the Pope out, what, six months ago? Not that long ago, but hey, the Pope. I know the Pope gonna call him and say, "Man, you said I was dead, huh?"
He was on his way out.
Because he won his job. He won his job. And Dolan's a cardinal now.
Yeah, he's a cardinal now.
Hey, but you know what? He didn't even do the test. He didn't do the pen test. He didn't do the mirror test. He didn't do the ironing board test. He didn't do none of the tests.
What's the ironing board test?
You know about the ironing board?
No.
All right. We from Bells on the Mississippi. Check this one out now. Now this might be a folk tale. Now they said, you know, back in the day when people would die, doctor would come, declare them dead, and so they would get like a ironing board and put it in there, let them stick, and put them on the ironing board overnight. So if they don't roll off the ironing board, they dead.
Oh my God!
Oh, man.
Wait, hold on. You gotta get hand claps for that, Jack. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
If they don't roll off,
They don't roll off.
dead.
They dead as a fool.
If they do roll off, they gonna be up in that joint.
They gonna be on the floor.
And everybody else is out the door.
Hey, but check this though. I'm gonna get on the serious note though. I want to give my condolences to the Mitchell family.
Yeah.
She was a sister, Jimmy Mitchell.
Okay.
She was an usher here in Milwaukee, I think, for like over 60 years, man. Usher board and everything.
How old was she?
I believe I'm gonna say 92, 3 or 4. One of those
right.
three. I'm gonna guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay. All right. Power to the people.
Give my best to Pastor Jackson.
So
All
y'all,
right. I got you.
that kind of makes sense what he said.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense what he said about the ironing board.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I said that is because remember back in the day, the body would sit at the house.
Oh yeah.
And somebody would stay there with that body all night long.
When my uncle Money died, one of my coworkers came to the viewing, and so we were leaving. You know, we'd already we getting ready to go, and no, this was because it was early afternoon, and she was going like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going home. We're gonna come back." And she said, "So where's your mourner?" And she was saying in her culture, they have people there. That's what they do. They just sit there and mourn.
What?
It didn't make any sense to me either. Caller, welcome to the program.
Wow.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody.
Top of the morning to you.
I just got a comment for Jermaine. Mr. Sensitivity.
Somebody knows you,
Oh,
Jermaine.
there you go. All right, I'm ready. Come on.
I'm thankful for being in the land of the living. How many people out in the audience said amen?
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I be on the organ looking, and I'm like, wow.
And everybody was like, amen.
Amen. Thank God for being here. He did, but I ain't.
I'm saying, you know. And
have you ever said I trade places with him?
You know, no, we had a at all the funerals, she would stand up and say, "Why didn't you take me, Lord?"
Who would say that?
Wait, we had an assigned family member. You know how they used to have the paid mourners?
Designated mourners.
Well, I heard one say, Lord, I told the Lord to take me. I told the Lord to
take the place.
Lord have mercy.
I ain't going.
At every funeral, she did.
Be like, man, you ain't took her yet, Lord.
But not one person stood up and heard.
No, y'all. Nobody else wanted that job. Huh?
Nobody else, and nobody's done it since.
I heard somebody one time she had been diagnosed with cancer, and she told one of her relatives, you know, she got cancer, and the relative said, "Lord, I wish it was me." And she said, "I do too."
Hey, Lord. Hey, see what it was, man. God got tired of her saying, "Lord, take me." So finally he was like, "Hey, Gabriel, go get her."
Go get her,
Gabriel.
You know what? And I understand you all in an emotional state. But sometimes just sit down. Just sit down. You know, like my mama used to kill Corey.
Yeah, that's a different story. Jermaine at the wrong funeral.
No, I went to the wrong funeral. And I'm looking around like, hold on, I don't know nobody here, but I swore I knew the person I was supposed to play for. And
he hollered, "Lord, they done killed Corey." I don't know if Corey. Everybody look.
I don't know if this should come up, but you know, should there be a color scheme at funerals?
Well,
you know,
whether it should or it shouldn't, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
What they're doing now, man, is typically they try to wear the favorite color of the person.
Yeah, that was the thing. Now the T-shirts, you know, been happening since the 90s.
I love you, Robert.
I know, and I've never worn one.
I've never worn one either.
Yeah, those T-shirts. But this was the thing, though. They used to go up to the mall. I remember they used to go up to the mall, and it was this store or kiosk, whatever it was, that was right in the middle of the mall that was printing T-shirts. And every Saturday, I remember it like yesterday. It used to be a line of people getting T-shirts made for their loved ones that passed away. And that used to almost be like an outfit. Like that was almost like the thing to have your guy on the shirt. And I remember having a conversation with somebody that said to me, I never forgot it. He said, "Man, I want one of those T-shirts." And I looked at him like, well, you do know somebody has to get killed or pass away for you to have one of these T-shirts. And he get killed or pass away for you to have one of these T-shirts. And he was just like, man, so everybody wearing them.
What about the person who refuses to buy a T-shirt for the family reunion? Should they still be allowed to come?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds like you.
Because hey, this me right here. Keith just hit. All in my pocket, Jack. I'm the one that I would not buy a family reunion T-shirt, but I'm showing up for the barbecue.
That's the question of the day. If you do not buy a T-shirt, a family reunion T-shirt, Should you be allowed at the family reunion?
Hey,
Watch me show up.
I know. Hey, I'm with you because if my last name is on that thing, I'm coming.
Okay. Should you be in
Watch
the
me
picture?
show up in my sundress.
With no shirt. Hey, you be the only one out of outfit.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
So should we allow you in the picture?
Yeah, I'm family.
Yeah.
You done messed up the whole family
You done
picture.
mess up the whole family picture.
Man.
Come on now.
It ain't about the picture. It's about the family.
That's right.
No, they
And
ain't.
it ain't
That's
all
about
what
that
But you buying that T-shirt.
It's about that moment. That moment.
You say it's about you buy that T-shirt.
And man, you know, now, and then look, I flew in here from California, but we told you we was gonna do some T-shirts.
Hey,
What we did was we sent the order forms ahead, so
Yeah.
you have your shirts here. Pickup night is the first night at the fish fry.
Yeah.
You pick up your T-shirts.
Which is that Friday night.
That Friday night.
Friday
That's right.
night, yep.
Everybody come to the
Yeah.
meet and greet
Yeah.
at the fish fry. We're gonna have your shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. You right, Doc.
That's where I did mine. Hey, I don't play.
I'm just going to tell you the truth. With my family, that's where the plans die. When they start asking, sending order form for the T-shirt, ain't nobody interested. So another year goes by.
Wait a minute. This show did have the nerve to show up right at the family reunion. Can I get a T-shirt?
Get a T-shirt.
Can I get to? No, you can't get a T-shirt. We sent you the order form.
Man, I even had them where they went and had their own made.
Uh-oh.
Don't match nothing.
That's
They
when you
don't like
cross
the
it over.
color scheme.
Right. The color scheme blue and you got on purple.
So what about when, because I had this happen too. I went to I'm not going to call the name, a specific T-shirt maker. And they spelled reunion wrong and still expected me to pay for them shirts.
Oh, what?
You supposed to proof them.
I did.
So you spelled it wrong.
Okay,
too.
I got another. Hey, the phone line's open too. Should you be wearing a family reunion T-shirt from 4 years ago?
I got another one though. Watch this, 'cause I've seen this happen. Keith, here's a perfect example. Should you go to Rhonda's family reunion on her side?
With my family?
Right with your family reunion T-shirt.
Or should you wear her family's family T-shirt when that's not your last name?
Y'all clowning.
You understand? You don't go to your wife and put on her maiden name's family T-shirt.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord, we
Family
You
reunion
do if
banging.
you want to start something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Family reunion banging.
We never did like him anyway.
Anyway,
You listen to Community Voice.
See, that right there.
We're gonna take a break. Call IZU. I'm gonna grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
Inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, to you and your staff. I've been doing some deep thinking. I notice every time something happens within the black community, it's always said it's Satan. But when you see black people get their head busted at a great America, at a Make America Great gathering, it's never Satan. But when you look at how things are happening with racism, the hate, the division, and these so-called evangelists and some of these black people, the first thing they want to do is start popping Ezekiel, Corinthians, and everything under the word of their so-called God. It's never Satan. But then they start talking about these Bible scriptures, and when I look a little deeper, I notice that they keep blaming Satan, but yet their so-called God who watch and allow things to happen, who's supposed to have the ultimate power while they're breaking tables and chairs, who watch people suffer. But in the same token, the same Satan that they created, they bragged to about the genocide on the innocent, but didn't brag about the genocide on the wickedness because they wasn't big and bold and bad like our ancestors to run up against the wicked, but they always blame Satan. And I'm kind of, and it keeps playing like, why is it for these group of people with the racism and hate, they never blame their God, but they always want to blame Satan, but under their God, they're pushing all this evilness. Because I say to myself, Satan can't be doing everything.
Well, I don't think it's God or Satan. I think it's people. I mean, we blame the devil for a whole lot, but it ain't the devil, it's us.
Yeah, because I guess, because I see they keep blaming Satan, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Satan only killed 10 people, but Jesus killed 2.5 million, and it was on the innocent. It wasn't on the wicked. So I just wanted to, get your understanding on that, because every time something happens, just like when them two black men got their head busted at that Great America that Great America thing, they didn't say nothing about it was Satan.
Right. Right. I agree.
So thank you so much, and y'all have yourself a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot we put on God and Satan, but Satan hasn't done anything. If nothing else, and that won't even get into what we call Satan. But
Keith,
you listen, and so you have a choice.
Yeah, and I do got to kind of push back because we know as believers that in these last days and perilous times that the hearts of many is going to wax cold. So you're going to see a lot of evil stuff. So if we can acknowledge that it's evil stuff going on, we then know that evil has a flip side, which is good. And those people that operate in doing evil, you are controlled by something. Your mindset is controlled by something. Something is telling you to go run up to an innocent person and shoot him in the back of the head. Something is telling you to get in your car and go 90 miles an hour.
But the devil didn't do it.
No.
You did it.
You did it, exactly. But you was that vessel and that Satan uses.
I think that we have been programmed to avoid responsibility by either putting it on God or putting it on Satan. It falls clearly on us. I pointed out that Sunday that God is not a registered voter. God is not a Democrat or Republican.
Right.
Okay. And if God was here in America, God would only get one vote. Caller, welcome to the program.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
Okay. Well, you tell me the last time God voted. Caller, welcome to the program. You show me
No, I ain't saying he voted.
Show me where he walked out when I voted, and then I voted
With a sticker.
Right. Show me when that happened. I'd love to see
I
it.
can't stand you.
Call him up to the program.
What's up, Keith? How y'all doing?
What's up, Joy?
I'm coming to get on your case today. So you still think 45 ain't stupid?
I think that he's just ignorant. I don't think he's stupid because he knows exactly what he's doing. He's just ignorant to the fact of what it's going to do to the people.
So he don't realize what he's doing to America?
He don't care.
He don't care. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He don't care. He don't care. But he knows that it's going to affect the people. He even said it.
So are the people that's following him stupid?
As a fool, ignorant. Yep. Yeah, because they know better.
So we woke up this morning too, and I'm one of those guys, Keith. With my company, we didn't have a big pension plan. Okay, my money that I'm living off of, besides my social and whatever little hustle money I get, is from my 401k. And so when he was in his administration last year, what did he brag about? He bragged about the 401k1s, right? The stock market, right?
Yeah.
Now he's saying he don't look at it, right? That's what he said the other day.
Hey,
he don't look at the stock.
Hey,
Yes,
George,
sir.
can we do a qualifier here? This dude lies.
That's what I'm going to.
So
That's
if
what
he
I'm going
lies, why are we giving, like, he said this now, he was lying then, he lying now.
Okay, so that refers back to my other question then. What's wrong with people that, I'm going to bring down groceries on the first day, I'm going to end the war the first day, all this stuff, and then you still have people that stand behind this guy? Like I heard you say, oh yeah, Will Martin got George the other day. How do Will Martin
let me
get
ask
me?
you something. Do you, George, again, this is for
how
you.
he responded that this was
Right, but do you think that
he bought the
they
time.
even cared that that what he promised doesn't come to fruition? Because that's not why they were following him in the first place.
Why were they following him?
Because they got some type of underlying thing that he's tied into with them. It's almost like he's doing a favor for these people that's following them. There's stuff that's not been exposed to the average listener or the average people that those people that's following him, especially those Republicans, know, because they
Those
sit
are campaign
in those
lies.
meetings.
The main thing is make America great again, which means
Taking
code
us back.
word, send foreigners out of the country,
Yeah.
To take away DEI, all of the other things that fall up under that he's been following through with.
But it's 2025, and this is what I said before. They got the same playbook they've been playing forever, and people are still falling for it because they're falling into this trap too. This is what I don't understand. They're going to get caught up. Somebody said, don't these Republican guys that's running these states know that their parents and grandparents and stuff are on Medicare and Social Security and stuff like that? That they're going to hurt behind this too?
But they think it's not going to affect them. They think that it's going to hurt the DEI people, which is the blacks and women and all this other stuff, the LGBTQ,
but that's what I just said.
Whatever.
But that's what I just said, Jermaine. This is their playbook. They've been running since day one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about before we were even born, Jermaine.
Yeah.
What do Keith always say? At least I ain't a what? Because I don't like saying the word.
Yeah.
But this is what I can't understand. So because of your hatred, your homophobic, your sexism, and your racism, you want to follow behind this liar. I was watching this thing earlier on NBC about is it Men of Faith or something like that? They didn't bring how all these white boys are running to this. Okay, I could understand if they really believe in their Christian values, but the guy that they are following behind, tell me anything that's Christian about him.
Exactly.
Name one thing.
Exactly. You are completely right, man, because I was looking at this yesterday and I was looking at this speech that this guy gave, a speech and said, being a Christian and being like Jesus is loving your neighbor, not taking things away, taking DEI and people losing their jobs and people struggling and this and this and that and hate. The hate that they are spewing over the people is not biblically to what they're trying to say. Well, we want to turn this into a Christian nation. For the simple fact, but
it's rooted.
But the scripture says, love thy neighbor. They not loving the neighbor. They not loving us.
But when Jesus gave the example of loving the neighbor, it was someone that there was natural hostility towards. And so he was taking it to this other level in terms of that. And it's interesting because I think that white evangelicals think white, American, and then Christian in that order. That they're white, that they're American, and that they're Christian. Because you're absolutely correct. And again, it's how you read the scriptures, right? Yeah. And so if you look at it where Jesus said that we should love our enemy, right?
Yeah.
Where Jewish people had a problem with their enemy. So you were a Gentile. Yeah. And that wasn't a term of endearment. So it's always where you've had this hostility. And look, I told somebody, if you bump into Jesus at some church, you lost or he lost, because we don't talk a lot about Jesus. We talk about everything else but Jesus, because if we talk about Jesus and taught what Jesus taught, it gives us a higher responsibility when it comes to exercising our religion, our faith.
But how can you say that we want to return the country back to a Christian nation and you're using biblical principle, but you're not abiding by these biblical principles that you're using?
Saying it so don't make it so.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
Keith just hit on something, Jermaine, when he said that they're not acting Christ-like.
Right.
And that's what the whole thing is, that they're not acting Christ-like, because you should care about your neighbor. Right. Who is my neighbor? Everybody is my neighbor.
Right.
And you know, it ain't just somebody. Yeah. And that's what I don't understand about these. And again, people, I do understand that people can vote the way they want to vote, and people can think the way that they want to think. But how much damage do you do, and how much damage is this man doing to this country that is going to be hard to get out of?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the part I don't understand, because of your hatred towards others. That's not. These evangelicals that stood behind him.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're looking at, but at the same time,
I do. It's white identity.
Yeah,
and white identity, is tied into Christianity and a certain vein or certain kind of practicing of Christianity.
So Keith, let me ask you a question. So the black people and other people of color that follow behind this white identity, what are they looking at? That's what I don't understand.
They're looking at.
So when I listen to a Will Mark argue with y'all, or I hear a Meach calling in, or these other calling in, what are they looking at?
Yeah,
I guess that's what I don't understand.
Good question.
As a black man.
Good question.
But here's what I
don't.
We get distracted, and we're talking about 2% of our population. And why are we giving 2% of our population so much legitimacy, so much air? I'm talking about 2% of people who would really subscribe to being Republican and certainly subscribing to the ultra MAGA thought. That if that's 1%. Here's the other thing. Many politicians in private do not believe the things that they're proffering in public. So when people get up and say, how can you do that? There's a political calculation. Now, once it gets to the point that Trump is weakened enough, then people are going to get a backbone. But at this point, these folks are worried about being primaried. That's a political consideration that people make. And if you
what you're saying is the old saying, I sell my soul to gain the whole world. Is that what you're saying?
Everybody got a price.
Everybody
for the $1 Million Man,
and they're gonna pay a price too. But along, but we're paying the price also.
Here's the thing that I tell people they miss I think they miss in the story about Daniel and the lion's den, the 3 Hebrew boys in the furnace. What got them in the furnace? They got them in the furnace because they would not move from a value system that they believed in to the point of death. And that could be done on the positive side, but that could also be done on the negative side, right? We live in that's the world that we live in. And that everybody doesn't see the world the same way. and you trying to understand. I'm not trying to understand why a person might believe the way that they believe. They believe the way they believe, because I'll talk about the danger in you believing. We just started the whole program off about what's more important, the facts or belief. You know, and there are a lot of people, their belief system is such that it supports a certain attitude. And then here's the other thing. I need to feel superior, right? So I feel better than the other person. And we get that in a lot of different ways. So I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time trying to understand why a person might believe. There are times, though, that there will be moments that my Black Republican friends will realize that they're part of the 40 million. They're going to have that moment.
So when I'm listening, because I'm not following you, because when I was listening on Tuesday, and ain't what it sound like to me, because you was pushing back hard, brother.
Pushing back hard on what?
You was going at it with Will, so I guess I don't understand what you're saying, because you were standing up. You wasn't just sitting by on okie dokie.
That's not what I'm saying now. What I said is I'm not spending a whole lot of time trying to understand why a person believes what they believe, especially something I don't believe in. But you know what? If I believe a certain way, there's somebody out there who's going to believe differently than me. That's just the laws of opposite. That's how the world works. And the point I'm trying to make is, why are we trying to waste time, or why are we wasting time trying to convince somebody to change a position, because they're not going to be able to move you from your square. So what we should do is just
I guess I do understand that, Keith, too. I guess I do understand that, but at the same time, I can't buy in that too completely, because when I hear brothers, or I see brothers that you standing up to this ignorant white man, and you following these policies that you know is doing danger and harm to your community. And that's why I challenged Will the other day. I guess it must have went over people's head. Will, if your game is strong and your conviction is strong, then why can't you have people challenge you? That was my whole point. I don't care if you're paying for the show.
But hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me push back on
because
something.
When they was going at Jermaine that day, I wanted to help Jermaine so bad, because it was like three of them. It was like 3 or 4 to Jermaine, and all that stuff they was spouting out their mouth was a lie. But Jermaine had to battle 4 people by himself.
George, couple things. One, did you know that it was a lie?
I knew it was a lie.
Okay,
let me give you one example. Then I'm gonna get off the phone.
No. Okay? I'm not talking about what.
Hang on, Keith. Hang on, because I know other people. Let me just give you an example. When Debo did that commercial, how many people you think didn't think because they don't do their homework, or I want to be careful how to say this, but how many people do you think didn't say, Debo, I heard Debo say, so I'm going to vote for this. Debo said he wasn't standing behind it, but how many people don't do their homework or aren't astute enough where they heard Debo?
Can I respond to that? What Debo wasn't getting was, oh man, I'm doing this, and so people gonna run and support Kinzer. What Debo was getting was, they was asking the question, is Debo supporting Kinzer? That's why he had to come out and clarify.
But my whole point is, a lot of people might have not even heard Debo clarify that. All they heard was Debo's voice.
Right, but they wouldn't. But the people who had the reaction to it, and Debo can tell you, would be people who weren't going to vote for Brittany Kinzer, and they're asking why he's supporting. He said, "I'm not supporting her. I'm paid talent. I do the voice."
I get that, Keith.
And then I think the other thing is, George, give people some. You know, there are people out there who see the world just like you do, and there's a whole lot of them. So I don't think people are that malleable that they're going to hear something. It's like when I was talking to Wendell. So the 8 people who have not made up their minds who they're voting for, let's try, because most people already made up their minds. So it wasn't, that's what I'm saying in terms of thinking that there are people out there, the facts, and then it's up.
Hey, I'm going to listen to you off.
Okay, all right. And look, these are adults. You get the facts. Now it's up to you. If you take what someone says and run with it, fine. I can always say this in terms of people going out and said, that is a commercial. That was the point that Will was making. we have had Democratic people, right, who call in, paid for by the Democratic Party or paid for by a campaign. Basically, I am doing a commercial. Okay? They pay for that time. And they should have the opportunity to get their message out unfettered, uninterrupted. You know, I disagree with Meach as long as the day is long. But I think that when he tried to do a program, Meach could never get it out because once he got talking, they blowing up the phone lines. So, I mean, you got, and then let's just trust that the majority of people who are listening can go, that's some, because if you came to that conclusion, that means that others have also come to that conclusion.
Yeah, and I was going to say, too, one thing I like about this station is y'all give the opportunity on both sides, and then you let the people decide what's true. So the people filter through, to what they want to keep, which is a good thing because you get to hear both sides of the spectrum.
A lot of stations wouldn't even they don't go down that road because, especially during elections, you have to, if you offer it up to the Democratic, you have to offer it to the Republican as well. We've had shows where if one declines it, but the offer should be there. So it's got to be even. Yeah, you have to do that. So even with our commercials, we can't say, well, we're only going to run Democratic commercials. We have to, if they want to buy our station, we have to, offer it up to them and sell it to them. Even with the show we did the other night, Election Central, for a long time, there was only a Republican view on that. A Democratic view on that. And as of late, the Republicans say, hey, we're missing the boat on this. You got Will in, so now they're wanting to be a part of it. Then you have a nonpartisan group like Souls to the Polls that comes aboard and just says, hey, we just want to be a part of it and make sure that the word is getting out there. Right. So, it's just one of those things. It's business at the end of the day.
But it's also balance.
Right.
And the fact that, Republicans, Democrats paid for time, the nonpartisan group, because you had a partisan, and you had nonpartisan. Now, it's about winning. So I am not naive. It is
Wherever
about
I can
winning.
get my message out at is where I'm going.
And you don't want to be prejudiced neither. Like, you don't want to show the one side favor and not give the other side an opportunity.
And then here's the other piece of it. There's some people out there who agree, that look like you and I, that agree with that message.
Right.
Unfortunately.
All right. You're listening to Community Voice. Callers, we see you. We're going to grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back. Jermaine, I do go. I go out and I do watch a lot of preachers. I love great preaching.
Yeah, me too.
And but sometimes I'm like, let's see how we're gonna finish this because we kind of meandering here.
Yeah, some people, man, they get lost in the sauce.
I done got lost.
And
my pastor always say, "Stay in the yard." I done wandered out the yard.
Yeah, Doc Cash get lost, and you be like, "Man, you got to find your way back home."
Ooh. And that's and you know when we lost, when he helped me, Holy Ghost.
Oh yeah, Doc, they come out quick.
Help me,
Holy Ghost. The devil tried.
I wish I had somebody in here
from you.
Oh, I wish I had a help in here.
The devil ain't took nothing from you, cat. You got lost.
And then when they back. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good afternoon. Good early afternoon. Good morning. Now listen, I've listened to a few of the callers, and I get the whole concept about what people might have a chance on losing. And when you look at the white evangelicals and the white Pentecostal and white Baptists, I understand, but I do understand. And when you talk, I ask people, what do you have to lose, man? What are you losing already? I understand that love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus showed us that. He ran one of the coldest social programs that I know. Okay, he set down 5,000 men, not including women and children, and fed them. That's social. That's a social program. He ran one of the coldest health systems you can imagine. Blind Bartimaeus, okay, sitting by the road, begging alms. God, Jesus come along and healed his eyes. A man sitting by the pool of Bethesda, 38 long years. Jesus told him to pick up his bed and walk. Hey, look here, man. Jesus, his healthcare system was so cold. He was in a house. They tore the roof off the mother sucker and let a dude down through there, man, and caused him to walk. And he took up his bed and beat it. He ran an mortuary system where Jairus' daughter was dead. Do you hear me? And you know what he did?
Bro, preacher.
Don't mess with me.
Bro, preacher.
Don't mess with me.
Okay, but bro, preacher, let me ask you this question. You just cited Jesus's health program, healthcare program. So then,
hold on, yes, so program too.
Okay, so why then are white evangelicals supportive of cutting those programs that Jesus probably would have supported had Jesus been alive?
I'm glad you asked, because in most of them churches you can go to, and they have a voucher system where your lights is cut off, and they're going to do it. They're going to see the church is really designed to take care of the people.
What church is this?
What you want to. Most of you know what?
What church is this, Lee?
Huh?
I said, what white church is this?
Well, you can just look up the 700 Club. You can go to Parkland
700 Club.
You can go, hold on. The Parkland Assembly. I don't know what they're doing now.
Let's stay on point. So,
well, he just asked the question. I'm going to give him some churches.
But that point would have got me off the point I'm asking you.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I'm asking you. So then, if that's what Jesus was about, Jesus was about feeding the hungry, Jesus was about clothing the naked, and now we realize that, look, if every church in America wanted to do what they couldn't do it, just based on just the vastness of the need.
You know why?
So then why wouldn't, so do you think the government then should then provide?
There you go. Because the government, the government is up on it. See, it says this here. It says the government shall be up on his shoulder.
Don't preach to me. Don't preach to me. I'm asking you in terms of U.S. policy, should we be cutting Medicaid? Should we be cutting SNAP? Because evangelicals are supportive of that, even though many of their members might be dependent on those programs. Okay.
Can I answer it?
Okay.
That's a twofold answer.
Okay.
For one reason, we have a lot of illegitimate people that have come into this country.
They don't get benefits. All right. Your second point. That's not true. Your second point.
Why is it not true?
Because I worked there and I know it's not true.
Hold on, brother. You telling me that a person that come across that border and a baby is born on this soil,
the baby's a U.S. citizen. They're eligible.
They don't automatically receive that.
No, the baby is eligible. They're a U.S. citizen.
Hold on. This is why they trying to clean it out, because what makes that baby eligible when they have he ain't got a grandparent or a parent that is paid into
it don't matter. That is not an eligibility criteria.
Why you won't let me make a point?
Because I'm trying to tell you how it works. That is not an eligibility. No, I worked there. That is not an eligibility. That is not an eligibility criteria.
Bring somebody for you to interview that has come to this country and their child receives Social Security.
Okay,
I can do that.
Yeah, because their child is eligible.
Okay, but the problem we have with that, Keith, is that nobody has paid into the system for that child. See, people done paid into the system for me and you.
Okay.
So nobody is paid in. Here you got a woman, man, with 2 babies in her hand. She get pregnant at the border and jump in and come in the country, and me and you on the hook.
Those 2 kids that came in with her, Meech, are not eligible, will not receive a benefit. The child that's born here will.
The child that's born here will. Where does he get the money for to be taken care of?
That's not a criteria.
No. I'm asking you where the money come from.
What I'm saying is that's not an eligibility. No, I worked that. This is truth. We do not ask people who are American citizens how much did you pay in Social Security in order to be eligible for a benefit. That is not an eligibility criteria.
This tells you that nobody's paid into the system.
So Meech,
it don't matter.
No. Hold on, right out. Hold on, let us 2 scholars battle this out.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on.
That was a shot.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to shoot right back at you because I got a 12 gauge. Doc, you ain't a scholar. You ain't a scholar at all, bro.
When we talk about winning the
argument, I'm a real scholar. What are you talking about?
Okay, man. Okay. A scholar. Can you get back on your point? What's your point?
You better be lucky this keeps show.
Okay, my point is this. Is if I had a come to Jesus moment, and I said, okay, brothers, I'm denouncing all of the Republican ideology, the Christian ideology, and I'm coming to fight black power with the brothers. I'm under the contention to believe that these guys wouldn't like me anyway.
Okay.
You know,
so
why? Because my past, or just because the
gift. Let's get back. And see, this is why this becomes real important, Meech. You just put out there that they hadn't paid. That is not an eligibility criteria. They have 2 criteria to receive public assistance.
We know that.
Non-financial. No, we don't always know that. So let me do it in 2 minutes.
They're stealing from me and you.
No, they're not stealing from me and you.
Well, where they getting the money from?
I got Social Security. The amount. No. Let me finish. I got Social Security because my daddy died. The amount of Social Security I got was far more than my daddy ever paid into Social Security.
Come on here, Doc.
That's an entitlement. Somebody paid in. That's right. And so part of the social contract says that if you're a U.S. citizen, you are eligible then for public assistance programs.
Brother.
Period.
Somebody paid your dad, then you see your mother worked as well, right?
That ain't how it's factored in.
But we not worried. Okay, let's just go to your uncle. See, I'm using common sense. I'm using what they call.
Don't use common sense when we're talking about eligibility criteria, because they could be 2 different things. You going on a perception and a belief. You feel like
if I come to your house, okay, well here it is, then, brother. If I come to your house and break in and start eating sandwiches, and you get off from work and find me at your kitchen table, what you gonna say?
Put a hole in you.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna put a hole in me.
I'm gonna say that you're not eligible to eat at my table. Get out.
Well, they're not eligible to eat at your table.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They have not paid into the system.
They don't have to pay. That is not a criteria.
We understand the criteria.
Well, that's all you go on, man. It's the law.
What about our grandkids and our kids? And we always talking about we're going to run out of money for Social Security.
What about the number of black kids whose families have not paid into Social Security because they were poor, and they get SSI. You don't think they should get SSI?
I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you what.
Do you think they should get SSI?
I'm going to answer that question. They qualify for the sweat and blood equity that their grandfathers and their forefathers have put into this country.
That is not an eligibility criteria. That's not an eligibility criteria.
Hold on. Whether he no, but in the 14th Amendment it says
that ain't got nothing to do with public assistance policy and regulations.
I love it when y'all want to wrestle with a boss, man.
Listen, if that was the case, that was the case, Meach, of what you just said, we would be getting what we deserve to have. We would get the 40 acres and the mule.
I appreciate you. Let me get this next call. Next caller.
Let's do this bomb.
Next caller.
Let's do the bomb, man.
Don't let him get off your square, man.
You're bomb, man.
Dr. Ward, how are you this morning? I'm well. How are you?
I'm well, and I'm sorry I cut y'all off before y'all cut me off. But what I wanted to make a couple points. One was about Will. I have to give him full credit. He's very tactful in conversation. But the other day when he and Michelle were arguing, he showed his true colors. And the other thing is the reason that the world is the way it is today is media. Media is brainwashing everybody. I heard on Tavis Smiley yesterday this term, no lives matter, and that's the truth of the matter. As far as slavery goes, the whole world is enslaved. It had nothing to do with race. It has something to do with race, but race is not the real object. It's just a tool for a few people to control. And we live in an oligarchy, plutocracy. Money rules it all. And your boy Musk was going to give everybody some money. That's straight out buying votes. And that's what happened for Trump to get in. And then they purged the rolls, the voter rolls, and they purged them only in one area, the colored area, the Democratic area. I'm going to let y'all go, and y'all have a good one. And avoid circular arguments like you just had with Meach.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Jermaine, going forward, let us two scholars handle this.
All right,
me and Keith.
Hey, listen here, man.
Hey, Debo, that hat kind of looks like a Bucks cap, baby.
Man.
Listen here, man. Hey, Keith was right. Hey, Keith was right. Because, boy, my temperature, it was almost like a thermostat was on my head.
Wait, what?
Keith was like, don't let him get it off your square.
See, that is one of the things you always have to be mindful of, is that once they get into, because once he said you weren't a scholar, you didn't focus on the argument. You went back to, nigga, what?
Right.
Hey,
he lost it by like you said earlier, your mama.
Yeah. Weapons of mass destruction.
Your mama.
Hey, as soon as he did that, everything went out the window. What you say?
All those great points
went out the way.
You know, it's just like you, and you look like Will. Oh, I'm gonna take my coat off up in here.
Doc, listen.
We was joking. We said Will with the cut wheel real quick, didn't he? Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
I just want to say real quick, how many of them, what people like to call illegals, are working here, paying taxes into the system, they can't go file their taxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there were some people that was working for Trump down in Florida that was illegal.
Right.
So think how much money that's going to hurt the economy if they start putting these people at where that money going to come from.
Well, I think that it's a distraction, and it plays into, remember I said Americans think like Americans, regardless of how Americans look. And there's a certain nativism strain that we have. That is, it's us here than everybody else. But if you go through, and I'd love for him to go through the Social Security Act and go to, that would be 4, under the Social Security Act, which created now TANF, used to be AFDC, Title 19, 21, Title 19, all those things, you know, it's not a criteria that your parents have to be born here. You just need to be a U.S. citizen in order to be eligible. And like I said, there's two non-financial, you have non-financial and financial reasons for people getting in. Trust me, the only time that you will see where undocumented migrants will be eligible for, so let's say medical assistance, is when they're in dire pain. And so then they were able to do that to cover pregnancies, right? Because the reality is if these women do not get health care for the pregnancy, we got a whole nother social thing going on. So, and then I don't know how he gonna go into the sweat equity that our foreparents put in. That ain't an eligibility criteria.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude. Hey, but you know what? I was just sitting here thinking about what you said. You know, that when you're talking about one thing and then it switch to something and it becomes personal. And I gotta apologize to Meech because I called him a bum. And it did get personal. So
we heard it.
I mean, just as a man,
you offended
with
all those
integrity, a man with integrity, I just want to apologize to that brother because I don't know if he's a bum or not. He might be, but I don't know.
Right, I'll fall back. Let the two sky.
yeah, man. That kind of hit me in the gut. Like
I was trying to think. Well, who else is on the phone?
I thought he was talking about me and you.
Yeah, I was like, who you talking about?
He included himself in that.
Somebody come in the room.
Dog, it was almost like the little Arnold. What you talking about, Willis? It was almost one of those moments.
I said we're gonna do it, but this is I got 2 minutes. I was at Philippe, and there was this brother out in the hallway.
Are you telling stories?
I know, I had to tell
him stories tonight.
It's so apropos. So he's out in the hallway, and he's just tripping. He's just tripping, right? He's tripping. He want to be seen. He's tripping. So by the time I get to the window, one of the security guys came up to him, said, "Hey, man, you need to calm down. You need to calm down." Brother looked at him. He said, "You have no jurisdiction here. This is a federal program."
Got him.
And the sister was telling them that we died. And dog went all technical.
Hey, Cuddy.
Hey, this is a federal program. You have no jurisdiction here.
Help me, Holy Ghost. When you know you're lost.
Hey, that was one of those cutting short. Jesus.
You have no jurisdiction. Oh, man. So that's what he's trying to tell you right out.
Yeah.
Keith?
Yeah, he did punch me in the ribs.
Do you make an altar call at a funeral?
Yes, you do.
Let me thank everybody for being part of the program.
Crickets.
I don't know that you do, though.
You do. We had this conversation.
Let me thank Debo. Let me thank
Jermaine. Trying to drag him down that lane.
Let's do Debo.
Let me thank all the callers.
Hey, Jermaine.
Debo.
Let us two scholars handle this, man.
He's got a bomb, man.
And if your family reunion is this year, get this year's T-shirt.
Yeah, don't pull out the old shirt. Trying to be cheap.
Oh, man.
Fugal.
Oh, man.
Bring that T-shirt with Big Mama's alive. We done moved on. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. As always, go for this place of peace.